Everyone thinks the UAE economy will take a hit because of the war, but the reality is actually opposite. And I understand why people think that, because whenever tension rises in the Middle East, immediately people start to panic and they assume investors will leave, flights are going to get cancelled, tourism will slow down, and the market is going to crash. That's the narrative you hear every time something happens in this part of the world. But when you actually step back and look at financial fundamental of UAE, the picture is very different. And honestly, it's one of the reasons why global investors continue to move money here, even during uncertain times. One of the biggest things most people don't realize is the sheer scale of UAE's global investments. The country controls 2.5 trillion and $3 trillion in sovereign wealth assets. These are investments spread all over the world through institutions like Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, which alone controls 1.1 trillion to 1.5 trillion, as well as Mubadala, 300 billion plus, as well as ADQ, another massive governmental investment platform. When you combine all of these together, the UAE is actually the fourth largest country in the world for state-owned investment assets, including foreign wealth funds and governmental funds. What that essentially means is that the country has an enormous financial buffer. These funds are invested across global market industries, technology, infrastructure, energy, and real estate all around the world. So the economy here isn't relying on one thing. Another reason investors remain confident is government debt. The UAE government debt sits only at 30% of its GDP, which is extremely low compared to major economies, including, for example, United States, which is 120%. And then you have UK at 100%. Because of the strong balance sheet, Fitch gives UAE a AA- rating. Basically signals a very low financial risk and a very stable financial outlook. And this is exactly why when there are global tensions in the region, global capital continues to flow in cities like Abu Dhabi and Dubai. Over the past decade, these cities have become major international hubs for businesses, investment, wealth, attracting entrepreneurs from all around the world, companies, high net worth individuals, and so on and so forth. From my own experience working in the real estate market here, what I've actually noticed recently is something interesting. Yes, people are paying attention to the situation, and of course, investors are cautious, but majority of serious investors are not panicking. In fact, a lot of them are calling and asking if there are opportunities in the market because they understand the long-term fundamentals of the economy of UAE. So while the headlines might create fear and uncertainties, when you actually look at the fundamental numbers, the fundamentals tell a different story. With trillions of dollars in sovereign wealth assets, relatively low government debt, and one of the strongest financial buffer anywhere in the world, the UAE has positioned itself not only locally in the GCC, but globally. So my dear friends, be happy while you're living in UAE because you're really lucky.